let's get right into this review for Regretting You. Alright, so Regretting You is directed by Josh Boone. This is a film based on a book by Colleen Hoover. One of her other books, called It Ends With Us, also turned into a movie adaptation last year with Blake Lively at the mantle of that film. Now, the story in Regretting You is another romantic drama that deals with darker and heavy-hitting themes in relations to love, family, and general romance. So now that I've seen the film, what did I think about the cinematic package here? I thought this was an okay time. To start with the positives, I thought the casting was great. Mason Thames and McKenna Grace were absolutely the highlight for me in this story. They had some wonderful chemistry together with solid performances all throughout the acts. All the other cast members involved also crushed their respective roles, which helped to immerse me into the drama being told. So kudos to everyone involved. I also enjoyed the costume design, set location, and visuals that paired with this film. A lot of it seemed to effectively work in favor of the story being told here. I also enjoyed how the film tackles the darker themes within its story presentation. Themes about betrayal, grief, moving on, and self-discovery are handled in a delicate manner with the characters and story arcs involved. And really, a lot of these grounded themes felt effective within the story beats, and I found the messages to come full circle by the end, which seems to be a general strong point in Colleen Hoover's writing direction within her romance novels. Now, to dive into one of the core negatives and gripes I had, I think this film is a perfect example of how not everything translates well one-to-one into the big screen. I can without a doubt see why Regretting You would be so much better as a novel after having viewed this film in its entirety. There are just some character progression elements in the narrative format that felt forced, unnatural, or outright messy at times. I feel like these pivotal moments in the book format will leave more room to the imagination of the reader, which in turn will leave more space to fill in and make sense of the pivotal actions and the overall story direction. With this film though, I felt the general story progression was just zooming by at too quick of a pace, almost as if it needed to keep the story forcibly rolling with all of its pivotal moments. So it just overall felt messy and unnatural at times during many of the different acts within the drama and romance being showcased. For example, the whole thing between Dave Franco and Allison Williams' character felt so jarring for me in the middle point of Act 2. I just wasn't there yet mentally as a viewer for these characters to feel a sense of attachment as showcased in the film. I'm sure this whole relationship dynamic between the two was much more detailed and well paced out in the novel. So yeah, bottom line, the general story translation from novel to narrative format was pretty much the only negative I had to this cinematic experience. My final score for Regretting You is 7 out of 10. This was an alright one-time watch experience for me. I think most of the readers of this novel will probably find a ton of satisfaction with the story presentation here. For those who haven't read the book such as I and were just interested in this romance film, you may find the characters, their action, and general story progression to feel all too uneven by the end of it all. Though the great performances involved, sprinkles of golden moments, and strong romantic drama was still enough to justify a one-time viewing for me at the theaters. Anyways, thanks for checking this movie review out. Like always, I'll have more coming out soon, so stay tuned for that. Like and subscribe if you haven't done so already, and I shall see you on the next upload. Until then, stay safe out there, and peace.